We're going on a field trip today. I've got you in the car and we are headed out to Spanish Springs. If you're not sure where Spanish Springs, it's out off of Pyramid Highway, and we're going to a neighborhood that is just across from Spanish Springs High School. And this is a really popular area. So we were on McCarran Boulevard. We made a left onto Pyramid Highway and we typed it into our phone real quick. And from the Pyramid Highway McCarran interchange or intersection to get out to this house was 6.8 miles. So Pyramid Highway goes much further than that. You can find lots of new construction as you go out further. You can find stuff on almost acre lots. If you go way out, that's when you start to find 10, 12, 40 acre parcels and some off-grid houses and all those kind of things. But today we're going to stay more in the neighborhood, and we're going to show you what some homes that are roughly built, a lot of them built in the early 2000s. So the price points in here will jump around quite a bit because some of these homes have had new appliances, new systems, new air conditioners, new furnaces and water heaters and roofs, where others have not. From where we are right now, as you come up over just Disc Boulevard and Los Altos Parkway, this is where you have all the major big amenities. So there's the Costco's and the Home Depots and banks and pretty much everything you can look for. And it's actually on both sides of Pyramid Highway now. This used to not be a lot of access to these things. And even as we drive further out, I mean, to get back to this is only going to be 5 miles for everyone who lives out that way. But even as you go further out, there's going to be more of the strip mall, smaller shopping centers, grocery stores, and small restaurants and things on those lines as you get further out, gas stations. And so now when you used to live out here, there just wasn't a lot of amenities, and now there's a ton. This road, as we're driving on right now, is basically three lanes each direction that'll narrow down into 2. But this used to be a 1-lane road, and it does get a little bit crowded. It's one of the negatives if you live out this way, is this section of Pyramid Highway definitely will have more traffic, more congestion at certain times a day. So just be aware of that. And if you're someone who works normal 8 to 5 hours, it is one of the downsides of being this area out there. So we are now in the neighborhood called Eagle Canyon. We were just talking about this, and you can see these type of houses here with a little more room in between. You can see right there, there's a little more space between them. So a lot of them are going to have RV access. Many of the bigger models will have 3 and 4 car garages. But the reason why people originally moved out here was you got a little more space. The prices were really inexpensive. And now with the homes being roughly 20-ish years old, mostly early 20s, you can now get some mature landscaping and an established neighborhood where literally if we turned around on the street and just turned around, the high school is 30 seconds away. So it's convenient for people who have kids. It's kind of become a really, I hate to say family neighborhood, but that's really the kind of neighborhood you can see. And again, a lot of xeriscape in the front yards, but the price points are going to be a little all over the place, and a price per square footage is not going to be that important because, again, when you get to that 20, 25 year age range, a lot of the pricing depends on how they've maintained the house. Is there a bunch of deferred maintenance? And if the major systems have been replaced or not. Do me a favor. If you're thinking about moving to Northern Nevada, click the link in the description below where you can get a copy of our free buyer's guide, which will get you a ton of great information for everything you need to know to get your journey started to Northern Nevada. This home here today is built in 1997. So this is even one of the older, we're 30 years old on this house, but it's got new paint, brand new fencing, RV access, and this is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 3-car garage that has, like you said, all the things that somebody would want in an entry-level kind of starter type house. But you can see this kind of stuff here has been replaced. And if I show you, like over the top of the fencing, how much room and RV access there is, it literally goes the length of the backyard. And this is why a lot of people come out here, because you've got all the good toys and stuff. And if Sydney pans around to the other side of the street, you'll see this is very common where the 2 side yards actually kind of come together, and you'll see the amount of space between the houses, and you'll see campers, RVs, all that kind of stuff just right across the street there. And so this is one of those neighborhoods where it's far and few between where you have affordable housing and the ability to have your toys and all your other stuff here all in the same time. So this is on the opposite side of the house from the RV access side. You could see over here, you could easily have RV access again. They put in a little garden, and then that was the 1-car garage I was talking in the back. That's really, you could set this up and make parking out of it. They use it more of a workshop and a storage unit. So the fact that we came through what used to be a sliding, it's still a sliding glass door, but what they did is they put this big overhang on. We have extra ceiling fans, covered patio. They turned this into an indoor barbecue. And as you sort of look off to this direction, We have the fake grass. We've got a gazebo. We got what looks like a well, but it's really just kind of thing. And they were able to get their boat all the way back here. So their RV access literally runs the entire length of their side yard. And like we said before, right behind where Sid is filming me from, there's that 1-car garage. But you could also legitimately turn the other side into another RV access if you needed to. So as we come around this way, you can see it now from the other side. And these kind of homes, like you said, right now are going to sell in the mid 500,000. So you can find stuff that's affordable for sure. For those of you that aren't looking for an overly big house, but are looking for a lot of access and some elbow room and some more space. And again, it's a really quiet neighborhood because if you're coming out this way, it's mostly residential. There's not going to be a lot of commercial and businesses stuff out here. There are some now more out on Pyramid Highway, but for the most part, these areas are mostly residential. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you coming in through the garage. Since most people don't come in through the front door, they do come in through their garage. On this house, you have a quick half bathroom to your left and then that laundry room. And then as Sydney comes in and as she's going to the right, the kitchen is right there. What's nice is they have completely remodeled this kitchen. You will see what was or still actually is a window above the sink because that's the hot side of the house. They just blocked it off. It's be easy. The window is literally right behind that, where the turtles are. And you can see new appliances, a really cool sink. And as she loops around, you're going to go into what's like the dining room, but really more of a breakfast nook area. And again, paneling on the walls. They put in a wood sliding door. This is their pantry, which they have created and made it twice as deep with lights in there. So lots of space for, in some people's mind, a kitchen that's not gigantic, but they even did some things with recessing the ceiling, can lights. I mean, just lots of good features for a house, again, that you're going to be able to get somewhere in those mid, maybe even a little bit higher 500s. But as you loop around, then you've got this nice sized, I call it a great room. It's sort of your living room, family room type area. Many of these homes, when you're in here, as when Sydney starts to loop around, the wall over here, which you can't see yet, a lot of them have gas fireplaces on there. A lot of people get rid of the gas fireplaces because in all honesty, they're not overly useful. They're just more for looking and things like that. So they put in a piece of furniture that's more of a gas fireplace, but a lot of this sort of work and all these kind of things, they did themselves, which has actually been some really nice features of the house. And really, this is that living space, is part of why they made that backyard so much bigger and more usable. But then as you come down here, you've got bedroom number 1, which in this particular model is a relatively small bedroom. They've set it up as an office. It's actually, again, they put some staining on the windows. It's all just stickers so they could, make it more usable and less hot. And then as you come down, it's your classic 3-bedroom house. So as you come this way, you've got your hall bathroom, but kid bedroom, I call it kid bedroom number 2, is going to be right there to your left, which is, again, much bigger than that first bedroom. So typically, if you need a legitimate full 3 bedrooms, some of these, that bedroom's not going to be overly big for you. And then as you come back this way, Sid will show you this hall bathroom. They've redone the shower. They've redone the whole vanity area and some really cool things there. And then as we walk into the primary bedroom, part of why they're looking for get a bigger house is this room is not gigantic. But again, when you're in 1,600 square feet houses, you're not going to be massively big. It does have a nice remodeled primary bathroom area. There's Sydney in the video. Twice now. And again, we'll have some photos of this house. It'll be a lot more show ready when we get it on the market here in a couple of weeks. But we want people to see what you can expect. Now, this is a house where a lot of this stuff has been redone and remodeled so it doesn't look original. And they've tried to do the best they can to maximize the space by trying to make this as much as they can a walk-in closet, by doing some nice work on the walls and the floors and the carpets. So you can see the prices in here are going to vary a lot. You could see this exact same floor plan sell anywhere from low 500s to high 500s based on a lot of different factors. So we always like to show you, again, what the options might be. So this is the kind of house as well where the garage is actually really pretty big. And the way I tell people to notice the garage is a lot of times from the side of the garage, you're only going to have 6 inches or a foot. This one's got a couple of feet on both sides. And then something you're starting to see more and more of that this house has that a lot of them don't have is Tesla chargers and also a Tesla bank, where this house is kind of like on a generator. So literally if the power went out, This house would have power literally, I think she said it was up to 6 days. So again, a nice big garage. You could do a lot more work to it as well. And the nice part is on a 1-story, a lot of times you can open up space in the ceiling and store a lot of things up there as well. But the way you want to judge how big a garage is really like how much room you have from here to here. And the distance, a lot of times are going to be 20 feet. This one's actually even a little bit longer as well. And again, in this garage, water heaters, furnaces, a lot of them will be in the garage. And that's when you want to take a look at them to see how old some of these things are, along with the air conditioners and stuff. And in this house, they've updated almost everything. So you're looking at a 30-year-old house where most of the major things should be done for people. And that's why sometimes buying an existing house is a lot better than buying new, because property taxes will be a lot lower as well. So this school, Spanish Springs High School, is probably one of the most populated high schools in all of northern Nevada. And this is literally, what would you say, Sid, a 90-second walk?
If that.
If that, to this school. So it's really close to the high school, but the nice part is you're off the road, so the traffic for the school shouldn't affect you too much, other than maybe first thing in the morning, last thing in the evening. And I think last I checked, this school had a couple of thousand students that go to it. So for kids who want to play sports or get into activities, it's been a really well attended, they do well in sports. I know when my kids played, they were always one of the good schools to compete against. And as we just loop around, just to give you an idea what some of these schools look like, and you get to the back, here's where all the sports complex is. And you'll see, we'll pull around in the back. I mean, it's just a massive, massive high school. But this is where we used to park around back for the basketball gym. All right, as usual, we're sitting here playing with the camera, trying to figure out the best ways to get you guys some good information. And we are now driving down Eagle Canyon Road, where it's La Posada across the way, back onto Pyramid Highway. And while we were here, we wanted to talk about some of the pros and cons of living out this way. So I thought Sydney could answer some of these questions, because I know video wouldn't be complete if we don't have Sydney in the video anymore, is it? So what are some of the pros to living out this way?
So some of the pros is you definitely get a little bit more bang for your buck in terms of lot size. They are more spacious out here just because there's more land available. The land was cheaper when this neighborhood first started getting developed out here. And there are also good schools. We had just driven through Spanish Springs High School. Shaw Middle School is out here, and
there's a million elementary schools, because you move 2 blocks one way, there's a new school. So we don't usually talk too much about the elementary schools.
Yeah, there's just too many to go over. And the thing about being out here as well is it's still developing, it's still growing, and it's a little bit quieter out here. People aren't coming through here just because they're coming through here. If you're out here, you live out here. There's not really
or you work
traffic.
out here, there's something going on out here.
Yeah, you're out here for a purpose, so you're not really getting too much through traffic in here either. And some of the drawbacks, though, about being this far out is your proximity back to certain stores, certain medical professionals, depending on what it is that you need, because sometimes you can get pretty dang far north as you push further out into Spanish Springs. Being closer to the high school, though, you are closer to grocery stores, smaller bits of amenities, but then you come back, and what did we say it was? 5 miles back to...
So the major shopping center is 5 miles back. But if you're someone who has to drive to California a lot to go see family, wants to go skiing and get to Lake Tahoe a lot, being out in these areas is definitely a lot longer drive to get back where you want to go. And I wish we could show you out the left on this side how much new shopping, new grocery stores, new stuff has been showing up over on that side of the highway. It's been crazy. All the new restaurants and amenities out here. It's been actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think one other drawback about being out here that some people don't really think about is the landscape out here is much more your kind of standard Nevada desert. So if you're wanting to stay closer to more greenery and a little bit closer to the mountain itself, you're going to want to be a little bit closer back into Reno. But the views out here are still amazing. It's just not quite as wooded and alpine as some of the other areas we have.
Yeah, the more you get back towards Lake Tahoe, the more you see it that way. And Cindy, would you say right now we have a lot of buyers looking out this way?
Absolutely. I have spent more time out here in Sparks and Spanish Springs in the last 6 months than I have in a long time.
And what price point? If we expand the area, not just to Eagle Canyon or Eagle Valley where we were near the high school, but we're more the whole kind of Kylie Ranch, Sparks, all these areas out here, what price points are people usually looking at?
It depends. I mean, we've run the gambit of going from a neighborhood like we were just in, looking in the houses at the low and mid 500s, and I've pushed all the way out to $1 million out here. So you can find houses that are bigger, badder, more expensive. Toll Brothers just put in a new 55 and up development out here. But if you are looking for a little bit smaller of a house and you are looking for that kind of just standard neighborhood feel, they are everywhere. Homes sitting in the 600s, the 700s. For the most part, you're not too much pushing into the 8s and 9s, but you can find them.
Yeah, typically if it gets more expensive out here, you're going to be in Wingfield Springs.
Yes.
Which is more the other direction. And we'll do a video out there sometime soon because we're trying to give you guys an idea where all these neighborhoods are so that you can get a lot of your questions answered. But just realize Spanish Springs is really more close to Pyramid Highway, and Wingfield Springs, which is out near the golf courses, Red Hawk, that kind of thing, is a little bit different location. And we'll bring a video to you guys on that, you know, hopefully sooner than later. But otherwise, the goal of today was to show you, one, we can still find affordable housing. Two, Spanish Springs, if you didn't know where it was, where it is, and that there is still lots of good options for you out this direction, whether you're families, individuals, especially those who are looking for a little elbow room. What'd you say?
I would absolutely agree.
So if you're thinking about moving to Northern Nevada, do me a favor. Check out this video we did right here that will show you all the areas, the surrounding areas, and everything you need to know about living and moving to Northern Nevada.